I just want to say how lucky I am because not only do we have two dogs today that we're shooting in our wonderful video, but I also have the opportunity of introducing you to Dante Bullup. And Dante has just completed the New York University Tisch.
Yeah.
He just completed that, and not only did he complete it, but he also immediately got a play, which he did.
Called Blood in My Mouth by Julia Pole.
Where did you do it?
It was in Red Hook.
Red Hook.
Red Hook, Brooklyn.
The thing that's so exciting to me is that the generation below, way below mine, has a different way of looking at the business. So now we're going to hear how Dante figures his future here and about the play that he did and how it's going to unfold for him, because it's totally different for my generation, totally different. We don't even know how to do it anymore. So Dante, tell us how to do it.
How to do it in 2026?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the industry has definitely changed a lot just from like what I've been hearing about it recently in school and from casting agents and our teachers. There's definitely been like a shift towards social media more. I know that like we were talking about it before, just like how much things have changed just in relation to like going to casting directors and like reaching out to agents. Back in the day you would make rounds and drop your resume off to the offices and shake people's hands and get in people's faces and like really put some elbow grease into it, at least like physically. And nowadays like all the offices are gone. There aren't any more offices to go into anymore, post COVID, because it was like everybody had to go online. And then after COVID it was like, well, it's a lot more cost efficient to just not have it at all and just keep it all virtual. But
I must say that my nephew said to me, how can they have an audition on Zoom? They're taking the humanness out of it. Well, I believe that's true, but you tell us what you think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. We had this thing called Industry Nights at my previous studio at Stone Street, where once a week on Mondays they'd have some agents or managers, casting directors come in, and we'd get to do a side for them and talk for a little bit. It was like, I can't remember the exact distribution, but we had some come in person and some online and virtual. And whenever we would have the people come in person, that's when I would most look forward to it. Whenever they'd get the email, and we'd get the email at the 5:00 and say, okay, you're either in person or you're virtual. And every time I saw that was virtual, it was like a balloon deflated inside of me a little bit, because it's like, to me at least, there's only so much that can be like achieved through a screen. There's something about like looking somebody in their eyes and shaking their hands and saying hello to them, and getting to like use your full physicality in the room that you just can't get, in my opinion, through a screen. And it does take that like connection away from it a little bit. But I also understand that it's great for when we had the opportunity to talk to people in like California and LA that like couldn't otherwise have met us. I get it in that sense. But just like as an overall general thing, I do think it's like something that has changed, maybe not for the best, as far as like.
So how do you think you can put yourself forward in terms of, now let's say he just did this wonderful play, which you should explain about the play and the thing. What do you think you can do now that your play is over? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the play was written by a good friend of mine named Julia Pole, who I met, I think, either freshman or sophomore year at the Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute. And that's also where I met the incredible actress that I was working alongside, Paris Lee. That's where I met both of them at Strasberg. And she came to me Julia last summer, like around June or July, and she said, "Hey, I'm working on a little script, and I had you in Paris in mind for it. Would you like to work on it?" And as soon as she told me that Paris was working on it, like I was immediately on board. Like I immediately wanted to work on it because the first time I saw like Paris act, we were in class together. I like immediately knew that she was one of the most talented actresses that I had ever like seen get up on stage. And so like since then, I was like, any chance I get to work with her, I'm gonna take. And so we were lucky enough to like do a little scene in class freshman year, and I think we did a play at Strasbourg sophomore year. But you know, Julia texted me last summer, and so I was like, yeah, let's do it. And we were working on it and workshopping it, and we finally got to put it up these past 2 weekends. We did 11 performances, and we had a lot of people come out. We got a lot of great feedback about it, and it was a great way to end my this was like the culmination of the last 4 years of studio training for me and my experience at NYU and college, and it was a nice like send off because it was just like getting to work on such a great piece of text with people you genuinely enjoy being around and working with. Like to me, that's like the goal. Like that's the success. Like I was telling Andre, my mentor, a couple of months ago, you know, how I get so caught up in my ambitions and dreams and big goals that I forget like a lot of the things that I'm doing now are things that I would have never dreamed of being able to do 4 or 5 years ago. And it's like, this is an accomplishment. What I'm experiencing right now, like this is me living out my dream, what I'm doing right now. And I should like take the time to like acknowledge and like be appreciative of that. And as far as like, so that was the play, Blood in My Mouth, we just finished. But as far as like the question of like what to do now, is now it's over, and now I have to find the next thing to do.
Oh, wait a minute. I just want everybody to hear this. Now it's over, and now I have to find the next thing. I have to say, yes, of course you're going to find the next thing, but it's sometimes I think that when we say something is over and now we've got to find the next thing, it's like being in water and really allowing the water to come around you and make and feel the whole thing and everything else. It's like you're so quick to go to the next thing. Just be. And that's something that I've been working on very hard, is just being. And people said, what are you talking about? Because of the fact that of what our careers have gotten to, the older people, it's very hard to not want the next thing, but to just be and to know that it's possible and everything else. It falls into your lap in some way. Something happens. And like with Dante, something will happen. I mean, my life has unfolded. Not the way I think it should be unfolding. It's unfolding in a way that is not I have no, what do you call it, over it? I have no power over it. It seems to unfold. So to say, well, I have to get another thing. Love the fact that you finished Tish, you're immediately working, you have 2 people who wanted to work with you, that wanted to actually create something with you. It's just miraculous and wonderful.
Yeah.
I really think.
Yeah. Smell the flowers.
Smell the flowers and enjoy whatever. I mean, the next one, there will be a next one, definitely, because if they wanted you right away in the middle of your last school year, that woman who is the writer, what is she going to do with this play?
Oh, Julie, well, we're all about to graduate, but we're all finishing up Tish. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm grateful that we had the experience that we had to work on it and to like share it with our friends. Because it's like, well, that was what I was gonna say is right now it's just about like creating your own stuff and creating your own work and making your own plays and films. Because like, you know, I spent a bunch of money that I didn't have on camera equipment and like SD cards and all this stuff because I do want to get into like videography, but also like just making my own shorts.
It's a cold Sunday to complain. I hold it in until it rain. I fought demons after fame. I spent millions on terrain.
I have a really strong interest in just like writing and like making specifically like dark comedy type stuff. And so I wrote a little short film and was able to you know, get it finished, and I'm still editing it right now.
Oh,
But
you are.
once that's done, I'll show it to you. But you know, once that's finished getting edited, I think I'll either see if I can use it as a proof of concept to like get some
Oh, what?
a proof of concept. It's just like a little a piece of like material to show to producers or anybody who might want to like invest or support it, to show that like this is like a real project, and like this is the infancy of it, but like I want to do more with it and like give it a full budget and the full, you know, editing process and coloring and sound mixing, just like make it into like a real film, as opposed to just like a little like right now it's just like a little draft. It's a finished draft, but it is still like a draft, and so I have something though to show to people.
Oh, wonderful.
Just say, oh, this is the beginning of what it could become. And then so I might try to go further with that, but also just keep writing more stuff and just bringing my friends into it, because I'm really lucky in the sense that I'm like surrounded by so many talented people that I've been working with for the past 4 years. And so these are people that I get to like say like, hey, like I know the perfect role for you, and I'm going to write something for you, because it's like at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, we want to be financially stable and all this stuff, and you know, be, you know, being able to support ourselves, but we also just still love it too, and just any opportunity, any chance to be able to practice our craft and do what we genuinely love is a gift. And so if I can like give that gift to someone else, and like I also get to like be engaged with that gift myself because I'm writing it and putting it together, then like, you know, I'm happy.
Do you get to act in it if you're writing it?
Yeah. This past one I did act in it, and I'll probably I don't know if I want to continue acting in my projects, just because it was like a lot to balance, and I felt like my acting kind of like took the back seat in this past one that I did, because I was just so focused on the directing of it and putting everything together that I didn't have as much time as I wanted to go into the character. And so I think if I were to do it again, I would probably just stick to the I would choose one or the other. I would either write it and act in it and not direct it, or I would write and direct it and not act inside of it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine directing anything. That would be hard.
Oh, well, you had the whole theater company, you know. It's
Yeah, but I was producing that. I was producing a theater company, and I'm very good at getting creative people together. Sounds like you are too. I can always find the creative people. What I can't find is the money, which is very difficult to do. And I also did not want to be a producer. I wanted to be an actress. So that really helped me as a person understand what I really wanted. I mean, the theater was very successful. We had some really wonderful people working with me. But I didn't want to be producing. I wanted to be acting, and as you said, when you're acting, it's one thing, and when you're acting and producing, my friend used to say to me, Catherine was so amazing. 2 hours before the show, she would come down to the dressing room as though she forgot everything beforehand. Well, you have millions of things. People want you to do this, they want you to do that. It goes on and on and on, and then you have to go, I'm going downstairs and I'm gonna be an actress. And it does, I think it isn't the best way.
Yeah. it's a lot.
Unless
to
you're
juggle.
Olivier and you're.
It's a lot to juggle. That's why I have so much respect for the people that can like write, direct, and act, starring like in their own feature films. Because like doing it in a short film felt like the hardest thing in the world. Like making a short film that was really like like it was something that like I didn't have like a lot of pressure externally to make, but it was like a lot of pressure that I was putting on myself to make. But it wasn't like I had people saying, "Oh, you need to have it done by a deadline," and like there's like millions of dollars riding on this. Like no, it was just a thing I was doing with my friends. But that still, in and of itself, felt like the hardest thing in the world. Like to this day, I'll say that's the hardest thing that I've ever done was make this short film, just because of I had so many problems. Just like finding a space. Like I reached out to Tish. I reached out to one of the NYU buildings. I reached out to all three of my studios, and
They said no to you?
well, one of the studios, there was a scheduling conflicts, but they were going to let me use the space. But my other two previous studios, they had said no. Tish had said no. The Paulson building, which is one of the NYU buildings that has a bunch of studios, they said no. I finally was like, I might have to rent out a space, and that was going to cost a bunch of money. It was like really hard finding cinematographers for it. It was a lot to like schedule like times with people, finding a time that'll match everyone's schedule. There was so much that happened, and there were so many points in the process where I wanted to like give up with it, but I told myself that like I truly believe that like every obstacle was just like a test to see how badly I wanted it, and I wanted it really bad, so I stuck with it, thankfully, and I'm really proud of like how it turned out, and I'm proud of like the friends that I had around to help me make it. I had a really good friend named Sam Christie, who DP'd for it and did such a great job, and some other friends that came to AD and be our script supervisors. I'm very thankful for, and it's like just I one of the biggest things that I learned through it was just like having people you can depend on and work well with is so invaluable as an artist and creative.
And be able to say that you just were mentioning all the different people that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize how much is necessary.
Yeah.
How many people you need. When you look at the roll on a
Oh my God.
and you see
people.
300 people. Now when I did City on a Hill, I think we had 300 people working on that show.
Oh my God.
And I mean, it was just, they were always, thousands of, they were always there,
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't always the ones that were close to me, because those people that were close to me were the ones that were the makeup, the hair, this getting on the microphone and all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
when you have even the smallest, like wasn't a big film, but you just mentioned like a cinematographer and what you said, another thing, and
A script supervisor, assistant director.
Assistant. Oh my
It
God!
takes so many. I remember. I don't know if you ever heard of the show called The Mayor of Easttown, but Kate Winslet was in it. It was a series that they were shooting in PA, and it was the first time I was ever on a set, and I was really nervous before I went there because I had never been on a film set before.
Mm-hmm.
But I had been telling my parents for the past like couple of years. I think I was maybe like 15 or something. I had been telling them for the past couple of years that I wanted to act. Like this is what I've always wanted to do. I found this website called HearyLoftus.com.
What is what?
Heary Loftus.
Harry Loftus?
Heary, HEERY, Loftus.
Oh.
.com. It was like a website that you could go onto and apply to be an extra, like in local shoots in Philly.
Uh-huh.
And so like I applied and I got selected to be a churchgoer kid, like number 3. And like I told the school, and I didn't think they were gonna let me, but they let me take off from school for a day to go. My dad takes me to the Please Touch Museum, because that's where they have the what we thought was the chute. That's where the chute was. But we get there, and there's just two big buses. And I get out and said, I'm here for the chute. And they said, like, cool, get inside. We'll take you to where we're holding the extras. And my dad is like, wait, where are you going? Where is he going? They said, oh, we're going to take him to the next location where we're holding all the extras. It's this church, whatever. And thankfully, my dad didn't have anything to do that day. Because he was like, yeah, you're not going to some random place where I don't know where they're taking you. Yeah, so he got in his car and he followed the bus. And they take us to this this modern kind of church that has like a little bit of a campus kind of area. We walk into like a gym, and they've set up all these tables, and they're holding all the extras there. And there's book bags and stuff everywhere, and so we sit down, and somebody.
Your father came too?
My father came, and they told us, if you want to, there's food downstairs. Just chill and wait until we bring you to the next location where we're actually going to shoot. And so I'm like, cool, we're going to be here for a while. So I go downstairs, and to this day, I told myself, like, oh my God, if I could make a career out of this, I want to gain 300 pounds. Because they had the best spread of food I have ever seen in my life. They had jumbo shrimp. They had like macaroons. They had cookies and cake slices, and like a bunch of seafood, and pizza. Like it was so. And I'm like a 15-year-old kid, and I'm just like, it's like Christmas Day, and so like I'm just snacking. I'm down there the whole time just eating food.
Oh, that is so cute.
I'm like, Dad, I can get used to this. And so
did he eat too?
Yeah, he ate. Of course he ate. He loves us. He was so happy. And so we eat, and like an hour or two later, they bring us. No, it was a while. It might have been 2 or 3 hours later. They actually got us all on the bus again, and they took us to another church where they were actually shooting, and we walk there, and there's like 100 extras, and there's a cheesesteak truck. A cheesesteak truck. They have a cheesesteak truck outside of the church where like the extras and everybody else can just go grab a free cheesesteak. And we walk by.
You must have been like,
I thought I died and went to heaven.
I know how you eat.
I was like, I must have died and went to heaven. But we go in, and it was just so incredible because they had blocked off Germantown Ave.
Oh, my goodness.
They blocked off Germantown Ave. And we go in, and there's like camera people everywhere, and there's equipment everywhere, and they've like blacked out all the windows with tarp and stuff, and there's makeup people going around touching people up. Kate Winslet is sitting in like a pew, a couple pews ahead. I didn't know who she was at the time, because I'm young and I didn't sing Titanic or anything, but I was talking to the people next to me, and I didn't do anything. I was just sitting there in this pew for like maybe another 2-3 hours, just like doing nothing, and like I loved every single second of it. Just seeing how much went into would have probably been maybe a 30-second part of this like hour-long episode, but seeing how many people, how many extras, how many camera people and staff and just production assistants, like all of this coming together to create the magic that we see on the screen, it like gave me such a deeper appreciation.
And when we did A City on a Hill, there was a church scene where they had a lot of extras with us, and it's always interesting with the extras. You think to yourself, these people are making money. They're making money to do this. I mean, I don't know what they did in Philadelphia, but they make Screen Actors Guild. They have to make a certain amount of money.
Yeah, union.
Yeah. Anyway, it's so funny when you were 15.
Yeah.
And you knew then.
Yeah, I had known for a long time that I wanted to act. I don't know when it started, but I feel like as long as I can remember. I'm lucky because there's so many people that don't know what they want to do, and I have so many friends that like oh, I want to do this, but I kind of want to do that, and like I'm very lucky in the sense that I've always known that this is what I've wanted to do, but that was the first time that I actually was like doing it. I had no experience actually being on set before, so I was really scared before I went that like, what if I like really don't like it? What if it's not what I pictured at all? And like I have like a midlife crisis at 15 because like, I don't know what I want to do anymore. But thankfully it was an incredible experience, and you know I stuck with it, and now I'm about to leave NYU.
You were not going to go to NYU, were you?
No, I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to go to college originally. I wanted to go to Atlanta right off of graduating high school, and just try my luck. And thank God I had, you know, Andre, of course, Andre. I'm in another a mentor named Brandon at GFS, who had to talk with me about it, but also my mom was like very, very adamant about me at least applying and, you know, doing the tours and sending the, you know, looking at all the websites and stuff, because she really wanted me to go. And I got into NYU, and I was like, well, they have such a great program there, so, you know, I might as well go. And check it out.
Did you have to audition for NYU?
Yeah. I remember my audition was terrible, though. I'm pretty sure it was bad. I don't think it was very good.
Well, obviously, it must have been good enough for you to get into it.
Yeah. And the thing is, for me, the one thing I thought about, too, was that, like, if I were the greatest like actor, then there'd be no reason for me to go in the first place. You know, like, what do I need training for if I'm the greatest actor? I definitely was not the greatest actor, so it was a good thing that I came to NYU, because like I got to work with so many like talented people, and just from like osmosis of just like being around them, I got better. Like, yeah, I got better from training, but I also just got better from like being around people that like really knew what they were doing, and like knew how to take their time and like be in the moment and like
You mean
respond.
They already knew it before they?
Well, you know, there's people just like naturally talented.
Uh-huh.
You know, like being around people that were naturally talented. Because I wasn't naturally talented. You know, like I it took like a lot of work for me to like, you know, take off some of my habits, and you know, learn how to like not act and like, what'd you say? like it's so funny. Like, I love watching my old clips. I love showing them to people my old acting clips because it's the funniest thing in the world. Because in the moment I thought like I was killing it, but I look back and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I was submitting this to stuff. But it was funny, you know. I was a kid, but
That's probably the way you have to act in a commercial.
Yeah, it was very exaggerated. It was
Yeah.
very, very, very exaggerated.
Well, it's funny because all of those things, you find out when you can use them. I always thought you can't be over the top, but there are times when being over the top. I have a friend who is most over the top most of the time because that's her persona. And then there's another one who you actually work with who is so funny and so wonderful just when she opens her mouth. And, you know, she really, that's who she is. So we would say to somebody, oh, you know, it's not over the top for somebody who has it in their soul.
Yeah.
But when you're a newbie, I was pretty bad too.
When you first started out?
Oh, God. I mean, I think I was. But, you know, that's what you're supposed to be. I mean, you're not supposed to know it all.
Yeah. There'd be no reason for training if you did.
And it's so interesting when somebody helps you to see something. I remember this one teacher when I was doing Glass Menagerie, playing the mother. And he said, in the play, the music is a character. I thought, oh my goodness. So you said a line, and then you imagine the music coming in, and it just like, the whole thing became, that play was so wonderful. Oh my God, what a wonderful play. But again, you need somebody who knows how to, I mean, some of these directors, please, you wonder how they get jobs.
Mm.
They really, it's just incredible.
That's why I say, like, it's so invaluable having people that you can collaborate with well. You know, I mean, there's so many directors that will work with a lot of the same people in film and in like theater, just because of like how important that like connection is, you know, and like who you can create well with. You know, it's not something to take for granted.
I was watching Judi Dench,
Mm.
and she works very well with Stephen. Oh God, what's Stephen's last name? A wonderful director.
Mm.
And he was saying that she can be so strong and so over the top that he was watching her in this one piece.
Mm.
And it's just, when you think, here is this great actress, you know, and he says she could be over the top, so we have to be, you know, say, no, not as much there, you know.
Mm.
But a great director is like painting. Well, this could be a little bigger, this could be a little smaller, you know.
Yeah, it took me a long time to like learn how to like take direction too. It was especially like when like before I used to have such like an impulsive reaction to like notes in my acting. Like it took me a long time to get to a point where I had to say like, you're so close to it, you're on the inside of this thing that you can't see the full picture, and you have to like really trust. Like being able to trust the director too, that's invaluable, because it's like they can see something that you can't see because they're looking at it from the outside. You know, because there was a point in time like when I was first starting out where I was like, oh, like everything I'm doing has to be the best choice. You know, there's no way that I haven't thought this through more, or there's no way that I haven't like worked hard on this. And it's like, no, like you got to be able to take a step back and like put yourself to the side, especially when it's like there might be a decision that's right for your character, or a decision that your character would make or would carry themselves in a certain way that doesn't necessarily work for the arc of the play. It doesn't necessarily work for the play as a whole, and you have to be able to like trust that, okay, like I have to alter this a little bit because it's not about like me or my character. It's about, you know, my character as a part of this whole.
Yeah. Well, I think it's wonderful. We have had an opportunity with Dante Bullock, and you will be seeing more and more and more of him. And I'm just happy that we had the opportunity of seeing him now. Look at him, he just went, oh, are they talking about me? Yes, I was talking about you.